Hello, thank you so much for joining us as we continue our football series with Banner Sports Medicine. Today, we're going to be talking about how student athletes want to overcome an injury, when it's time to seek care, and some support for your mental state when you're trying to get back out on the field. We're joined by Dr. Steve Erickson, who is Chief of Primary Care Sports Medicine with Banner. Thank you so much for being here again with us.
Important topic. This is why I have a job.
Yeah, absolutely. Injuries are no fun. They are potentially life-changing. So this really is a very serious topic. And I want to start with, everybody wants to think, maybe I could take care of this at home. Maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it's not going to set me back a few games, but it really could be. So how do you know if this is something you should be rehabbing at home or if it's an actual injury that you need to seek care for?
Yeah. Especially with contact sport like football, if you play hard, a contact sport, you're going to have soreness. You're going to have some discomfort later that day, the next morning. It seems to be more, as you get older, that's more significant than when you're younger, and these guys bounce back pretty quickly. But that's one of the reasons why there's athletic trainers. They can help navigate that of what's the difference between a little bit of pain or a little bit of soreness and an actual injury that you need to seek care for. And we're blessed with Banner Sports Medicine of having a lot of really fantastic athletic trainers that will help you decide, and if you're injured, get you referred to the appropriate physician to be evaluated.
And that's what's so great about the partnership between the AIA and Banner Sports Medicine that we'll be talking about in an upcoming segment. But for now, let's focus on this. When it comes time to getting that provider, how do you know you have the right one? And why is that so important?
Well, trust is really important. And with Banner Sports Medicine, all of our providers are fellowship trained and board certified in sports medicine. Sports medicine is a sexy part of the medical community, and there's a lot of people out there that aren't sports medicine that want to call themselves sports medicine because it drives patients into their clinics. But you want somebody that's fellowship trained and board certified in sports medicine. You want somebody with some experience that knows and has your best interest at heart.
Okay, that's really, really good advice. Now, a student athlete who is really passionate about their sport, about playing football, obviously getting an injury is the worst thing that could happen to you. What would you say to them about trying to stay focused on their recovery and focused on staying in the moment to get better so that they can get back out on the field and really just kind of keeping their mind right in the process?
Yeah, so there's two really important things with that. One is that it's just as important for them to win in rehab as for them to win on the field. If they don't win in rehab, if they don't work hard in their rehabilitation, it's going to take them longer to get back on the field, and they're not going to be as good of an athlete when they get back in the field. So they need to take their rehab seriously with Banner Physical Therapy, Banner Athletic Trainers, to listen to them, to trust them, to take instruction, to do what you're told to do, and don't do the things you're told not to do. So that's critically important. The second thing is to don't forget the mental aspect of this. You tear your ACL and you lose an entire season. A lot of athletes mentally go in the tank and they get depressed and they get frustrated, and then that affects the rest of their career because they don't win in rehab. They aren't trying as hard, they're not motivated as hard. We have sports psychologists to help athletes through that injury recovery psychology, because there's really something about that, and they can give you some techniques and some self-care techniques to try to help you with that. But that's just as important as the physical aspects and the nutritional and sleep aspects as when you are playing, when you're rehabbing.
I really love how seriously your team takes the psychological part of this. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
And thank you for joining us. We will see you again for our next segment in this series.